The young man threw his fishing net into the sea and caught a golden seashell. However, he had no intention of taking it home and chose to throw it back into the sea. But when he cast the net again, he caught the same seashell once more. In order to fish in a place far from home, the young man rowed his boat. But it seemed like the seashell was following him and he caught it again. The young man guessed that the seashell wanted to bring him back, so he placed it in a tank at home. The young man had lost his parents since he was born and relied on fishing for a living. But the poverty and unfortunate circumstances never affected his life. Whenever he came back from fishing, he would hang the nets on the crooked neck tree in the yard to dry. When he was ready to cook at home, he opened the door and was surprised to find the table filled with various dishes. He rubbed his eyes, thinking it was a dream. But as he approached, he realized it was all real. Strangely, he looked around and didn't see anyone, and he was the only one on the entire beach. The young man thought someone must have come to the wrong house and prepared the wrong meal, so he sat on the steps by the door, waiting for that person to appear again. But he waited until nighttime, and no one came. Under the moonlight, he stood alone, with a lonely shadow. The next day, the young man didn't want the food to go to waste and decided to eat it first. Then, as usual, he picked up his bamboo pole and went fishing early in the morning. At that time, the seashell maiden, who lived in the tank, also woke up from her sleep. She went to the young man's house again, and seeing all the food on the table already eaten, she happily cleaned up and went to the stove to prepare a meal for the young man. With her magical powers, she ignited the stove and then went to tidy up the young man's bed. Standing at the window and listening to the familiar melody, there was nothing happier for the seashell maiden. When the young man saw smoke coming out of the chimney again, he hurried his steps to return home. As soon as he entered the door, a delicious aroma greeted him. When he lifted the lid of the pot, the food was already hot and ready. In order to figure out who was cooking for him every day, the young man didn't come home early that day. Instead, he stood by the fishing net, splitting bamboo and preparing to make a new bamboo basket for the house. As he weaved the basket, he observed if anyone entered the house. Soon, he finished weaving a delicate fish basket. Just then, he saw smoke coming out of the chimney. In a hurry, the young man put down the fish basket and ran home. In order not to be noticed by whoever was inside, he walked softly to the door. He pushed it open and discovered a beautiful girl inside.